a smart Polish guy and a good smelling Italian guy and a British guy with a big cock walked into a bar, and a Jewish guy bought a round of drinks. I love that crap.
You're crazy. You're nuts.
A porn star moves to suburbia, and he's sitting on his front stoop smoking a joint, and his neighbor comes out. And the porn star says, "Hey, neighbor, what are you doing?" And the neighbor says, "Oh, I'm going on a date." "Oh, really?" Yeah, first date." "Wow." Porn star says, "Good luck." He says, "Thanks, man." And he comes back a couple hours later, and the porn star says, "How'd your date go?" And his neighbor says, "Oh, I only got the first base." And the porn star says, "Well, at least you got your asshole licked." That is just the perfect joke.
Oh, that's just the yeah. Oh, Jackie, you're the best. I was gonna try to get like a Howard Stern story out of you, maybe one you've never told before. But
I don't know if I told you this, but this is funny to me, and I don't care if it's funny to you.
Okay.
Robin had just put out a book, and she was promoting it, and Howard's promoting it. He's talking about it, and he's talking about it, and she's talking about it. And we're about to go to commercial, or maybe the show was ending. And Howard took a phone call. And he answered the phone call, and the caller said, "Hey, Howard, you've written 2 books, man. And now Robin wrote a book. When's Jackie going to write a book?" And he proceeded to go on and on about Jackie. He couldn't put a sentence together. He hasn't got a brain in his head. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It would be dull. It would really suck. And then he said something like, "We'll be right back." And as he pulled the microphones off, he leaned over and turned to me and he said, "If you ever write a book, you're fired."
Wow. And he meant it. I bet you he meant it.
He meant it because, which was my friend Frank is still mad at me that I didn't name my autobiography that.
Right.
If you ever write a book, you're fired. That's classic, right? That's
that's an amazing story because Howard back in the day was really, really paranoid because you had a huge secret that you were writing all those funny lines for Howard, and Howard never really gave you credit at first, especially. So everyone thought Howard was one of the funniest comics ever, and the fact is, you made him funny.
Well, I mean, he was funny, but it's like anything. If you're funny, you're funny. But
right.
If you got 2 heads working or 3 heads working, me and Fred,
right?
You're just funnier. You can't help it. I tell people it's like if a sprinter is running the 100-yard dash. If he's got a gust of wind behind him, I don't give a fuck who he is. He's going to be faster.
Yeah, that fair enough. I'll adjust that. Howard definitely was funny, but I mean, with you,
right.
with you and Fred, hold on. With you and Fred, sorry to scream at you, but I really want to like kiss your ass for a second. With you and Fred writing all those lines, you made them just over the top fucking funny. My goodness.
And teed him up to do whatever he wanted to do, which is what he's doing. Now, I probably told you this story before, but I don't care. We'll go off on this. Because what you just touched on, like by the end, like Howard always said, listen, I never denied that Jackie and Fred were writing jokes, and he actually wrote it in the Penthouse interview and stuff. He didn't hide it, but in the beginning, he really did kind of hide it. And it was a well-kept secret. And there were a couple of times it almost leaked out, and that's in my book. It's really fun. But when he first got to New York on NBC, nobody knew who the hell this guy was. Nobody knew anything. It's hard to believe, but very few people knew Robin was black. And Howard used to tell the audience that he was half Jewish and half Italian. Because by doing that, he roped in 99% of the tri-state area, right?
Sure.
So smart. He told everybody he went to Vietnam. Meanwhile, he wasn't even born yet, but these were classic lies, but that was his shtick. That was his, just like Jack Benny saying he was 39. Who's going to stand up and say, no, you're not? You know what I mean? So I'm doing a show at Chuckles, and people were so enamored with the show. And I always played Stump the Joke Man. So I'm playing Stump the Joke Man, but I tell people, listen, if you got a question about the show, you'll go, feel free. So I'm standing up there, and the guy raises his hand, and he says, Jackie, is Howard really half Jewish? And I said, yes. And the guy said, what's the other half? And I said, even more Jewish. And the place went nuts. And it was exactly right.
That's amazing.